Hello everybody, welcome back to another video where I talk about everything and nothing at the same time while playing a game in the background. Now, today I wanted to talk about the all or nothing mentality that tends to happen, at least with me. I'm not sure if it happens with you. Make sure to let me know that in the comment section below. So what I mean by that is things can sit and be ignored around my house or just in general for a very long time, and then suddenly everything has to change. Like I can have things sitting around the house that I haven't used in a couple of years and are just going to sit there, collect dust, and then suddenly I'll get this motivation to grab a trash bag and I just start throwing stuff in there that I haven't touched in a while. And then I do a big cleanse, and some of it goes directly to the trash, some of it goes to charity shops and secondhand stores, stuff like that. If it's something that's particularly valuable, I'll probably put it online for sale, but that's a big hassle, so I don't tend to do that too much. I'd rather just give it to a secondhand store so that somebody else can get a good deal on it. But anyway, so then everything has to go, and sometimes that also comes with redecorating. Like suddenly I'll want the different furniture set up, like changed. I'll switch couches or something, move stuff around where I think it might be better. And then as soon as that's done, I'll sit and look around and go, that's pretty good. I did a good job there. And then it just kind of sits again for X amount of time. And the same with like hobbies and things like that. I can be really, really into something one day and that can last for a couple of months. And then during that time, I want all of the things that are involved with this hobby. Like I don't just want to buy a blank notebook and make that into a planner. I want to be able to make my own notebooks. I want to be able to make my own covers. I want to be able to make my own spiral bound notebooks. So I need all the tools that are involved in that somehow, and all the different paper types that I could possibly need, and all the different cardboard types that I could use as a cover. And then of course you want to decorate the cover, so you also need things for that. So I'll just go on this gigantic shopping spree. Now I tend to get most things secondhand, so the amount that I spend is definitely considerably less than if I had gone and bought it all new, because particularly hobby stuff is very expensive, because apparently you need a lot of money in order to be able to do any hobbies. So monetarily it doesn't quite break the bank, but it does fill up the space that I do have, and then it kind of sits there once the hobby interest wanes. But instead of getting rid of it then, I just let it sit, because there's always this part in the back of my mind that goes, yeah, but what if I want to use it sometime in the future and then I don't have it? I better just keep it here. Like, it's not particularly in the way, like a lot of it's in the attic, so I don't really see it every day, so I don't mind it too much, Except of course every time I go into the attic and I see all the collections and oh yeah, I still have all of that to deal with. What am I going to do with this at some point? No idea, but maybe one day I'll need it. So then it sits there for an X amount of time again. And then I move on to the next hobby to get the next thing, and I try these days to, like I said, only secondhand shop, and also ask myself if I really, really need something or if it's just for a collection thing. And then if it's only really for the collection, then I also check if I don't have something like that already. And if I really, really want it, I leave it there for a couple of weeks if I can. Secondhand websites tend to go pretty quick sometimes, but some of them do sit there for a couple of months, so I can just kind of give that a heart so it goes into my favorites, and then I'll come back to it again some other time, see if I really, really still want it, and if I can do something about the price. And if I do, then I'll try to get it. And then I just kind of take one for the team in that regard. And if not, then that's good. That saves me more money and space. Now, a thing that kind of is a bit of a loophole in that whole system is when I go secondhand shopping. I tend to go to a fairly large secondhand store once a week, and they have a section with office stuff, stationery stuff, planner stuff. And 99% of it is something that I'm not going to want. I'll look at it, there's always a couple of cute looking notebooks, but I have so many notebooks. If notebooks stopped being produced tomorrow, I would still be able to write a daily journal page for the next decade. I'm pretty sure I have so much paper. So that is not an issue for me. But if I come across a ring bound planner of a certain brand, particularly if it's a leather one, most secondhand stores tend to just sell those for a couple of bucks, because there's always so many of them that they never really know what to do with them. And you can get some really nice ones there. I got quite a few Filofaxes for just €1, and I think I even got a really antique one for just a couple of bucks. Of course, a lot of success agendas, because that is the brand that is the most popular in the Netherlands in that category. And I'm also a sucker for really old-fashioned, like large books that they used to use to keep the books, as it used to be called, like those books, like large ledgers and just large notebooks of unusual shapes and sizes. I really like those. Not that I have a ledger to keep, but it's just like one of those things like, oh wow, this used to be so important. Now it's here for just €1. I'm gonna take one with me, because you never know if you're ever gonna find one of these again. And then I have it, and it sits along with the rest of the collection. I did try to keep like my daily expenses in one, and that was probably a good idea as well, just to see how much I spend on a daily on just things like lunches and stuff like that. Now, I'm not like financially unstable or anything, so it's not a big deal that I spend that money on random shopping and things like that. But if I'd spent less money on random shopping, I would have more money left at the end of the month, of course, and that could be used for other things that might also be of interest, but a little bit more expensive. But this same all or nothing attitude also goes towards tasks. Like some days I will have no energy for tasks, and then one day I'll do half of my task list that I had set for the week. So then suddenly there's this burst of energy and everything has to get done, and I will want it done like at the same evening. It'll be tiring, but then afterwards there is that sense of accomplishment, which is really nice. And then the rest of the week I can focus on other things. But mostly the nothing mentality goes towards things that cost energy for you even to think about it. Like pretty soon I'm going to have to pick a date where I'm going to disperse my dad's ashes, because my dad passed away in April, and the cremation was also that week. And I've had the ashes since early June, and I've picked a location, and I know who is going to be attending or should be attending. They have a rough idea of what week, but I still have to pick the exact day. And it's also in the same week where I have an appointment with the dentist, which is also going to cost me a lot of energy, because one of my teeth is going to get like a crown put on it. That means that the tooth itself is probably going to get ground down into like a little nub or something.